Hey guys, welcome back to Clownfish TV. This is Neon. I'm here with Geeky Sparkles.
Hello.
And if you want a Rainbow Brite comic book without Rainbow Brite in it, Rainbow Brite #1 is the comic book for you.
Pretty much. But to be fair, it's setting it up.
It's setting it up. So let me just preface this by saying, normally we do not do comic book reviews, and part of the reason we don't do that is, one, we make comics. Two, we know a lot of the people who work on these comics, and it's just kind of weird. And three, we kind of cover more general pop culture than just strictly comic books.
This would definitely fall into general pop culture.
This is general pop culture, and we did talk about Rainbow Brite, the Rainbow Brite comic book reboot earlier, and kind of some of our concerns we had about based on the write-up. And we did think our audience in particular would be interested in Rainbow Brite, so we're going to cover Rainbow Brite. We bought our copy on Comixology because I am not driving 45 minutes away to go pick up this comic book. So
okay, real quick, look at one of the reviews, and the reason I bring up that review, I'm going to start with this, and there's a reason.
Newsarama.
Okay, so go down to where you have it highlighted.
Okay.
That's what I wanted to read. Okay, Rainbow Brite has gone through more than half a dozen incarnations through the years. True. But this newest one from Dynamite and a solid bench of creative talents might be one of the better ones. Subjective. Not enough to even judge that yet. Supported by heartfelt characterization, again, not enough to judge that yet, and a genuine wit, again, not enough to judge that yet, from Jeremy Whitley, and expressively stylish artwork that kind of looks like every artwork you see in Scholastic by Brittany Williams and Valentina Pinto. Rainbow Brite #1 is grounded but a fun take on the property. One that is brimming with potential. Well, there has to be potential because they didn't do much in the first issue. Sure to please a long time Saturday morning TV fans, not yet, and a whole new generation of readers unfamiliar with her colorful adventures. Rainbow Brite #1 is a well-presented beacon of positivity. Again, there is not enough there, and you saw it. Can you think of anything there that makes it a beacon of positivity?
No, it's boring. It's a boring comic.
I'm being fair. It's because it's a setup.
Right.
It's really it's leading up into it.
We're going to show a couple of pages here. We don't want to show the whole thing, obviously, because we don't want to steal the comic on YouTube.
Okay, but I wanted to address
it's boring.
I want to address the first page. Okay, so what's going on in this is
her friend, most action you
her
get in
friend
the whole thing.
Willow, because Rainbow Brite was Wisp, which I will say, going back to the origin story of Rainbow Brite, there was a girl named Wisp. She was dropped into a land without color. She had to save the color kids, and when she saved the color kids, she became their leader, Rainbow Brite, or person in charge. That is what happened. So this kind of is going along with that. So I'm not going to complain about that too much yet. But so her friend Willow is writing this adventure for her and Wisp, and they have these villagers under attack, and they show these men here in the corner. And what's going on with that was the town was looking for heroes, and this is in quotes, because it turns out they weren't as great as they thought they were, and when they refer to that, they mean the men. And then apparently somebody made fun of Willow's hair, and they weren't going to help, but they decided to help after all. This is the quote. And the two heroes did exactly that, even though the peasants didn't really deserve it. Because when you're a good person, sometimes that means being nice to people who aren't.
Oops, I gave us too much.
And and here's the thing. I agree with that sentiment 100%. When you're a good person, sometimes you have to be nice to people who aren't. But the comic book industry doesn't seem to understand that message.
No, including some of the people working on this comic. Some of them are not very nice.
They block people, and they're very nice. But so they don't practice what they're preaching.
Right,
and I 100% agree with that sentiment. Sometimes when you're a good person, you have to help people and be nice to people who aren't that nice to you, and that's life.
That is life.
And that is being a good person. I 100% agree with that. I think that's a good message for kids. But I think some people need to practice what they preach. Anyway. So that starts out as this. Basically, then they decide that Willow has her mom and dad always around, and and Wisp comes over and hangs out with Willow. At one point, her dad's even like, she asks him if he can go outside, and he's like, makes a comment about princesses being in danger, and she's like, "We're not doing anything with princesses. The whole town is under siege. How dare you?" Compare us to dealing with princesses. What the hell's wrong with you, Dad?
I'm gonna jump in here. A couple quick thoughts, and I'll let Geeky continue her rant. Thought number one: this book is written by Jeremy Whitley, who wrote Princeless, and it feels like Princeless, not Rainbow Brite. It feels like Princess or Princeless.
No, you're not allowed to say princess.
I'm not allowed to say princess.
It's a swear word.
It's a swear. And two, nobody cares about Rainbow Brite being an ordinary human girl in this boring suburban world. Like, what? That first page where she's fantasizing about slaying dragons is like the closest thing to actual Rainbow Brite that you get in this comic.
Right. And the thing is, I mean, again, it's setting it up, but they make her very tomboyish, you know, other than her hair and a ponytail. She looks like a boy. Take away the ponytail and you can't tell. Which seems to be in the message. Now on the cover, I will give them this. The cover, she looks like a girl. Look, she has. It's like, well, you like the She-Ra argument. Well, you can have a flatter chest and be feminine, which I do agree with. And Rainbow Brite presents that. So it is possible, people. But in this one, basically, what's going on is. There's this whole section where she's going on about how she wishes that there was going on about how she can't wait to have a forge so she can make her own armor. Because, you know, I was a girl, a little girl. I grew up with girls. I work with little girls. I have a little girl. I'm sure some girls would want to make their own armor. And I'm sure that you know, when you're going on about, well, you know, some girls have flat chests and you're belittling them. Well, yeah, and some girls do, but not the majority. And I think some girls want to make armor, yes, but not the vast majority. So, it was weird. But basically, these shadows, and she goes home, and her mom's like asleep on the couch. So her mom's either sick or she works all the time because she's a single mom or something. And she doesn't wake her mom up, and then she decides, you know, she hears a noise, and here these shadows are attacking her mom's car and suck the color out of it.
Yeah, I just, again, her mom, like, can we show that page? Like, her mom's sleeping on the couch, and, you know, it's like, this is not what I want to see. I don't want to see Rainbow Brite's mom. No, so we're saying here, like, you know, what's her mom? Is she tired because she worked all the time? Is she tired? You know, she's like a single mom. She's working all the time. Is she tired because she's a raging alcoholic? Is she clinically depressed? You know, I don't know. Like, why are we even focusing? Why do we have panels of Rainbow Brite wasting an entire page doing the dishes and brushing her teeth? We only get 22 pages of comic.
It's only 22 pages, yes. And then so these shadows appear, and and of course, like any girl, and she looks like she's about, what, 11-ish?
Yeah,
12?
something like that.
Every 11 and 12-year-old are going to grab their wooden sword when they see shadows and weird people outside by their car, and they're going to go charging into the shadows because, you know, there she's watching Kitten Show with hearts. And then, or her mom had it on TV. And then she's gonna watch that, but then she's gonna grab her sword and go out and fight these shadows in the middle of the night, and she doesn't know who they are. I
don't know.
Okay, so anyway, she goes and fights these shadows, and they're chasing her, and because these shadows are sucking the color blue. Well, then, we don't know enough about Rainbow Brite, so we only have a couple pages left. So what do? Of course, we bring in one of the sprites with exposition dumps.
Oh God. Okay, and this is where I get like feisty. I'm just like, I'm not feeling it. So we bring in. Well, he's no longer known as Twink. Remember Twink, that cute little sprite from the original Rainbow Brite, which I can actually pull up here real quick. So this is Twink. If you remember Twink from the 1980s, he was a cute little sprite. He was a happy guy. He was very friendly. Hung out with Rainbow Brite all the time. They were joined at the hip. This is Twinkle, because we can't call Twink anymore, because that would probably offend some people to call it Twink. Twinkle is an asshole.
No, he's just very. Well, one, he looks like a late night TV show.
He doesn't look anything like Twink.
He's not, and he hangs his legs and feet like almost like reminds me of a wasp in the one panel. But he's just like, he just shows up and he looks like a late night TV host, and he has this grumpy face, like he does look like that creepy uncle you don't want to go anywhere near. That's what he looks like. And then this superior wit in writing. I think they're referring to like that panel. She's like, basically he's telling her they suck the color blue, so she's like, okay, well, I'll just take my shirt off because then they won't chase me. And he's like, young lady running the streets topless is hardly fitting behavior for a hero. That's the wit. And this is geared for little kids.
Topless. We don't want to talk about.
Why would you give? It's supposed to be geared to like young kids. Why are you even making that joke?
Oh God.
So I don't know. But anyway, he just comes and there's exposition. So basically, long and short of it is they have to teleport out of there because they're being chased by these shadows. And at the end of the comic, all you're seeing is suddenly they're in Rainbow Land. The sign says "Welcome to Rainbow Land," and everything's gray. And that does harken back to the original, because she was brought into this gray world to save the color kids, and then after she does and the color is returned, then it's Rainbow Land, and then she becomes Rainbow Brite. So they are kind of using. Yeah,
but it was very kind of the original. Now the original Rainbow Brite series, which I watched when I was a kid. I was like 7, 8, I think, when it came out. You know, they never really explained where Wisp came from. She was not from Earth because, you know, she went to Earth and she met Brian.
There was a boy. Brian was from Earth.
Brian was a boy, but there were the kids, the Earth kids had like normal human proportions. The Rainbow Brite color kids were sort of like super deformed, so they clearly were not like quite human. Yeah, they were not quite human-ish. They were human-ish.
Humanoid.
They were humanoids, but they you know, they never explained where Wisp came from. I always thought it was kind of a supernatural sort of thing, and now we've got this
the
really
name Wisp in itself usually it harkens back to
like fairies.
You don't
and,
even hear people named
right.
Wisp. You know, it usually means something else.
No, and this is like sucks all the mystery and the magic out of Rainbow Brite's origin. Oh, she's just some kid with a single mom or alcoholic mom.
Wants to forge to make armor, which
likes to LARP.
I really hope that doesn't come back up again. Like, look, I got a forge in Rainbow Land. But her outfit doesn't seem that. That's something else that doesn't make sense. If she's all about armor and forging, okay, and her friend has a cape and they're talking about how pretty her cape is, why is she dressed like Rainbow Brite on the cover? Because go back to the Rainbow Brite cover. Let's look at the cover of this. This is a question I have. If she's all about wanting armor and forging, why does her costume look like that? And why does she have a rainbow belt? Because Rainbow Brite had a rainbow accessory. But they're making Wisp all about, why? I wish I had a forge.
It's because Jeremy Whitley wrote Princeless, and this is basically Princeless. I mean, I'm gonna be honest, and I think, you know, there's nothing wrong with being girly, but the thing about
there's nothing wrong with being boyish either. You can be both. I mean, I'm tired of girls can't be girls. They have to be basically wanting to do everything boys do, and they can do it better because they're girls. Girls can do what girls, be who you are. You can be boyish, you can be girlish. Same for boys. You can be boyish, you can be girlish. Who the hell cares? Be who you are.
The thing that gets me about this is again, this is another example of like taking a classic. Now, we don't know enough about this Rainbow Brite yet because this clearly.
I was going to say that. To be fair, we don't.
Yeah, because the problem with this book is it's clearly part of what was designed to be a trade or a graphic novel. And this is like the first 10 or 15 minutes of the movie, quote unquote.
Right.
And we don't know enough about, you know, this Rainbow Brite to see, you know, where Rainbow Brite is. And that's what I kind of hate about origin stories. The thing is as a kid or as a fan of 80s nostalgia, you're going to pick this book up based on the cover, and you're going to expect to see freaking Rainbow Brite, and she's not in this book.
Right.
You know, and that's hugely really disappointing.
I mean, I understand why. It is. Like I said, we really can't judge this. We can't tell you, is this going to be Rainbow Brite? I don't know. We can't tell you. I mean, they do seem to be sticking with the basic origin story, which is good. I can't tell you because there's not enough to go on. And that's why I'm laughing. What I'm more amused by are the reviews going on about, what's the other review you have up?
Oh, this is another, so... the plot is somewhat predictable, but it's for little children. So this is the artist of Hellcat, I guess. It's a wordier comic concerning its targeted age range. That is a legit
I will agree
criticism.
with that.
Retains a reasonable reading level. Overall, Rainbow Brite is a fantastic read for children, particularly young girls, and a fun read for adults. No, not really.
Not yet.
I would recommend the comic to anyone who has enjoyed Whitley's previous work.
It is.
It is basically Princeless. Rainbow Brite as a child or is craving some good old 1980s nostalgia.
No, there is no 80s nostalgia about
at all.
this.
That's the problem. That is the fundamental flaw of this comic, is there's nothing nostalgic about it. Nothing. It's not even Rainbow Brite.
Twinkle shows up, which they change the name. That's supposed to be nostalgic.
And he's not even Twink. He's nothing personality-wise. He's the Great Gazoo. He's an annoying little shit that shows up over your shoulder and tells you
Twink
what to do.
in the original. So he's not even like Twink.
No.
So other than the name and the cover, there's not much nostalgia here yet. Now, like I said, we can't tell you how it's going to be because we don't know. It's only the first issue. Hopefully it gets more like Rainbow Brite and less like Princeless. But at this point in time, it's more like Princess and less like Rainbow Brite. But we're, like I said, we can't tell you how it's going to be. I can't argue this for or against because I don't know enough about it yet.
And again, I think this is a case of, this is where the floppy comics fail sometimes, when it's obvious that they have the trade in mind, because we've got these scenes. Like, again, we spend a whole page watching, you only have 22 pages to get the reader hooked, and you spend a page showing Rainbow Brite, not Rainbow Brite, brushing her teeth and doing dishes and getting dinner out of the microwave. Like, a classic Rainbow Brite fan does not pick up a comic book to see some random everyday little girl do the freaking dishes.
She's dressed like a boy.
And brush her teeth. and LARP in the
And she
backyard
wants
with
to
her
make,
neighbor girl.
and talk about how she wishes she had a forge to, you know, not that LARPing's bad, but like, I work with kids all the time. I'm a mom. I was a little girl. I work with little girls. I have a little girl. And yeah, some girls are very tomboyish. I was a tomboy. I played ball. I wanted to be a boy. I tucked my hair up in a hat so people thought I was a boy when I was little. I wanted to work on stuff with my dad. I was a tomboy. And even then, I'm telling you, girls will go around going, golly gee, I wish I had a forge. These girls aren't going to know what a forge flipping is.
Yeah.
I wish I had a forge so I could make my own armor. They might be like, oh, it'd be cool if I wish I knew how to make armor. That'd be kind of cool. That's what they'd say. They'd be like, oh, I wish I had a forge so I could make my own. I mean, I can't. Yeah, I can't rate. I mean, again, this is not. It's not for me. I'm not the target audience, but I am a fan of 80s. According to them, 80s
stuff.
Nostalgia people are the target audience. That makes it me.
Yeah, and that makes it you. That makes. I mean, us. We both watch. I mean, I watched a Rainbow Brite cartoon when I was a kid. I went to my grandparents took me to go see the Rainbow Brite and Starstealer movie. I freaking loved Onyx and Chris, and I thought Rainbow Brite was actually, for what was quote unquote girls cartoon, was pretty badass. I think we talked about it before.
It was for everybody because all the characters were boys too.
Yeah.
I mean, it was pretty much for everybody.
We had Red Butler and Buddy Blue and Murky and Lurky and Brian.
Murky and Lurky, I love Murky.
I mean, they did the cartoon with Rainbow Brite. It wasn't super girly because she had Brian with her.
As many boy characters as there were girl characters. It was for everyone. So I'm interested to see. Like I said, there's not enough to go by on this to tell you, is it Rainbow Brite? Can't tell you. Will it Rainbow Brite? Don't know yet.
Will Rainbow Brite? I don't know.
Don't know.
And that's disappointing. Again, I just feel like this is going to be a huge disappointment for anybody who's a fan of classic Rainbow Brite to pick this book up and be like,
yeah, you might want to wait a couple issues in and then just read like the first 3 or something like that, so you get the Rainbow Brite part. And I'm sure she's going to turn into Rainbow Brite at some point. I mean, even in the original, she didn't turn into Rainbow Brite technically till the end.
Yeah, but she still, even as Wisp, she still had the basic costume. Really, the only addition was they gave her the belt and her colors got brighter when she got that, and that was it.
That's true.
But she still looked like Rainbow Brite for most of that. And again, that's because that was more of a supernatural origin versus this, which is really boring. It's just boring.
Well,
it's
on the first couple pages when they're doing the LARPing thing, I noticed that she had the rainbow in her hair. Is that what they're going to make her look like? Basically, a boy with a rainbow and a stripe in the hair.
I have no idea. I hope that's not. No, I think that she's going to look like actual Rainbow Brite because they're showing the costume here. But
that hand bothers me. I don't know why. Is it turned wrong? It's driving me crazy. I'm looking at like what I'm actually making the motion with my hand. Like my hand, it doesn't work that way.
No, it
doesn't bend
weird.
that way.
I mean, you might be able to see like I don't know.
Maybe it's because like a light effect.
Yeah, I think it's a lighting effect. But still, I'm just like if you're a fan of 80s Rainbow Brite, I personally think you're going to be hugely disappointed. If you're a kid, I think you're going to be bored because you're going to pick this up thinking you've got this rainbow colored superhero, and
looks like it's very girly rainbow colored.
Yeah, and you basically got this really kind of boring Scholastic style slice of life comic. And
it's clearly not meant to be read issue by issue. It's meant to be like a larger chunk.
Right.
So like I said, if you just wait until they have like 2 or 3 issues out and then buy it, or wait till they get the whole what do you call that, the trade. I always call it graphic novel.
Well, it is graphic novels. I guess semantics. Graphic novels are designed to be read in one chunk. A trade is a collection of single issues.
Right.
I think this is a graphic novel broken up into 6 or 8 issues.
I think that's what's going on here too. So is it Rainbow Brite? Don't know yet.
No.
That's long and short of it. I just thought the reviews were great. Oh, you can see this. It's fantastic writing and it's a beacon of hope. I'm like, there's not enough here to be a beacon of hope and positivity. How is there positivity? They LARP, they joke around. She gets attacked by shadows and she gets transported up. Like, there's nothing there to be a beacon of positivity about. Not yet.
Yeah, it's not yet. Really a page turner at all.
It could be eventually, but not yet.
I just think it's going to be a disappointment for people.
I honestly don't know yet.
We'll
see.
We'll see. I mean, but Twinkle annoys the hell out of me.
Yeah, you really don't like Twinkle.
I don't like Twinkle. I think they ruined Twink. So maybe they knew that it wasn't maybe the name changed because they still sell Twink plushies at Hallmark as Twink. So maybe the name change was like, well, we changed his character so much we can't call it Twink anymore because it's not.
But if you would like Rainbow Brite style, like the one you remember from the 80s, there's been several versions of it, but the one from the 80s was the most popular. If you would like that, make sure you check out the Hallmark stores. They do have Rainbow Brite, vintage style Rainbow Brite new toys you can buy. So
yeah, we did a video. Yeah, we did a video on that. So I can't really rate this. I'm perplexed as a comics creator, as an editor, as to why they would not at least frame it with Rainbow Brite, so you got that character in the book in some level.
Yeah, even if it was like, let me tell you how I became Rainbow Brite, so you see
Right.
Rainbow Brite or something.
I mean, because kids, especially if this is for kids, this has absolutely nothing to do with the cover. They're going to pick this up, and it has absolutely nothing to do with the cover, and they're not going to want to read a second issue, because I'm like, who wants to watch Rainbow Brite do the dishes? You know? I mean, nobody wants to watch.
Look, kids, you can all be your own hero at home by doing the dishes.
Yeah, right? I mean,
I do agree with that. Kids, do your dishes.
Okay, so are we done? I don't even know how to rate this. I'm not even going to grade it.
I'm not going to grade it.
I don't.
Is it Rainbow Brite? Not yet.
No.
Will it be Rainbow Brite? Don't know.
No idea.
So there you go.
Yeah, so we're going to wrap this one up. Again, we don't do a lot of comic reviews normally, but we thought this one warranted at least a look because we talked about it before, and it is 1980s nostalgia. Okay, guys, so if you want more gaming content, pop culture news, views, and occasional rants or art content, subscribe to CLOWNFISH TV.
Yep.
This has been Neon and Geeky.
Yep. We'll see you guys later.
Bye.
Bye.